beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Right, the feet of the bear represents the Russians, because what's going to take this system down? The Russians. Go ahead.
It says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
That represent first and foremost so-called Great Britain. Go ahead.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority.
Right, the dragon represent the Roman Empire. So the system that they're going by today is based upon the ancient Roman system. Go ahead.
And I saw one of his heads as they were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed.
That's referring to how the Roman Empire came to the point of death, but it rose back up. And it came to the point of death when Jake came up into power. And that started with Septimius Severus. You know, one day we got to do a special on the Jakes that took down the Roman Empire. Because they didn't say, okay, we're going to set up a new empire. They kept the Roman Empire going, but they were sitting in the rulership seat. Like another key person right before Constantine the Great was a man by the name of Diocletian. If I have that icon book, I can show you a picture of him. The four, yeah, do you got it? It's that green book. It's right there. Speak for a minute.
Right, so this is just to show you that you know, like Elder Tar always says when we go out to speak or when we do these different lessons, that it's not all about just calling the white man the devil. There's a lot more to the scriptures than that. You know, you have a whole, I mean, you can never run out of topics to go off. Yeah, the information is vast. I mean, I mean, you can go on one particular topic for hours and hours and hours. That's why we have, you know, because we like to get deep into the scriptures, but we have to kind of cut it a little short because for the time's sake, you know, because brothers ain't going to sit there 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours going into a lesson. You'll get bored, you know. So that's why, you know, we have to pick and choose the best information to bring out and bring it out to you.
Yeah, because you don't got to go into we're not history professors, man. Where we're going to go into every aspect of history because history is so vast, man. But we're going to touch on history, and then if you want to, I do that myself. I choose a key name, and I might want to go deeper into that name of that particular person at that time period and get a whole lot of information. So you ought to do the same thing, all right? This is it right here. Read the caption.
All right, this is Diocletian and his co-regents, group of tetrarchs, height 51 and 1/8 inches, from Constantinople, south side of Fascite of St. Mark's, Venice. And it's basically up on the top. It says Constantine and Theodosius, Christian art in Italy. And it says in the year 292.
Hold up. Christian art in Italy. But there were only Edomites up there. There was only white people up there, right? There were Jakes. Jake's been up there, man. Jake's been up in Rome, Italy. How you think they took the throne? Because they got up in high offices in the Roman Empire. All right? So here's a picture. You can see a better picture of it, but this is from this book called The Art of the Byzantine World. All right? And that's a picture right there. You see a good shot of it. All right? And this guy, when you read about this guy, Diocletian, man, he basically, instead of using the term draconianism, you should refer to that term as Diocletianism, because he was hard on the Roman people, man. He taxed the hell out of them, man. That's where Esau is taxing the hell out of you now, because they got that from the Caesars back there, but mainly from this guy, man. They were taxing them, so he was taxing them Romans so bad, when they moved out of their region, he ordered them to come back. He said, look, you got to come back so I can continue to tax you, all right? Okay, now let's go back to where we left off.
All right, this is Revelation 13 and the end of
yeah, because you read about the one of the heads being wounded unto death. That's when Jake came up in there, and Jake ruled really for more than 1,000 years, but the 1,000-year rulership really began with Constantine the Great when he sat up on the throne and saw that vision of that sword. And what was the in hocs signo vinces, and this sign conquer. All right.
It said, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto
the beast? Like I said, is NATO, the EU, and United States, America. Babylon the Great is a part of NATO. And the dragon is talking about the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago. Go ahead.
Saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies.
The mouth speaking great, we're going to have to go back to Daniel 7. The mouth speaking great things and blasphemies is really Babylon the Great. It's really America, the U.S. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
That's the Roman Empire.
And it had 10 horns. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
That's America. Go ahead.
It says then, verse 19, then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
Yeah, because the American Edomite thinks they're better than the rest of those Europeans over there. Go ahead.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
That's why ultimately, with this situation over there in Greece, Greece is getting ready to file for bankruptcy. They're getting ready to go belly up. They've been rioting for about a year so far, and they haven't stopped, and it's destroying the economy. You know? So Angela Merkel and what's the premier of the president of France, Sarkozy, they're talking about bailing them out. You know why? Because once they go down, it's going to follow suit. Because what you have to understand, these 10 horns that we're reading about is now broken up into 27 different smaller nations. So they got to do something to quell it. But eventually, you know what they're going to do? You know who really started all that nonsense? America, the American banks, the international bankers. Based in England, the Rothschilds, number 1, the Oppenheimers. And the Oppenheimers, they're older than the Rothschilds. Their money goes further back than the Rothschilds. But the Rothschilds is number 1 right now that you don't even hear about. But I was watching the financial news, and they even had an Oppenheimer commercial. So that's old money. So they're going to find out these international bankers set up all this stuff with these loans and so forth. Because it tells you in the scriptures there's what's called a statute of limitation on debt. It's 7 years. It's called a year of release. And then you have a jubilee